So at the time when you first started creating script, there were other attempts at some kind of abstraction language for script, correct? And then
Yes.
I'm assuming you've tried those, and like, what were the issues that you saw with those other attempts?
Yeah, one, as I said, it's not, it's easier than script, but I wouldn't call it the developer friendly at all. It's very, it's almost this developer, they're trying to show they're smart. So they come with something very, I would say, too overly complex. So for example, you got a language called Ivy. It's not raw metal, but it's still very close. It's nothing compared to JavaScript or Python or anything, or, Rust. It's very, it's something between like a low level language called a script and then higher level language. It's something very, they come up with, that's nothing close to what the developers already are used to. And the tool is almost non-existent. So they may have some like a CLI, but that's pretty much it. No documentation, no, websites you can go to, you just click and see what the script gets compiled to. It's not easy to deploy. It's not easy to call. There's no library. Basically, it's almost like a weekend project. It's nothing, nothing close to Solidity, I would say. So that's why I say, hey, instead of just, get these people to improve it, which is out of my control, I would take over and then make my version of what, developers should, be comfortable with and familiar with.
So if like for any beginning developers out there, one can make the argument that most locking and unlocking transaction types only consists of like a few different opcodes, right? It's actually in very maybe rare cases where you're actually writing and scripting complex locking scripts. So then I'm curious, like what were some of the complex scripts that you were writing or interested in writing that you felt was factor in developing script as well?
It's like asking, Solidity developer, hey, what kind of smart contract that's useful outside of the normal Ether transfer? I would say, one big reason is exactly because it's very difficult to work with script. So that's why you don't see many use cases. Once you have get the entry, the barrier as low as possible, and tons of developers can work with, and then you can see you're basically giving the freedom to the developers. Because the analogy I would use, even Steve Jobs, he was a genius. He created iPhone, but I don't believe he could see what are the killer apps for iPhone when he first released it. Right? I don't think he knows Instagram or Google Maps or Angry Birds. He just give it the. It's like asking him, hey, why? What are the use cases for iPhone when you first released it? I think people making calls and then maybe play a few, arcade games, but that's about it. Same with the Bitcoin, because exactly when it first came out and it's very difficult to work with, it's like when you work with iPhone at the beginning, there's no app store. You probably don't have good SDKs or documentation or even language support. So that's why it's very, you don't see many apps, but that doesn't mean it's not going to have many use cases. For example, for script, one of the, I would say, most popular stuff is, this thing called zero knowledge proof. Right? Because if you want to hand program zero knowledge proof, people did it later, maybe after 5-6 years in BitVM world. But that's like, you have to know exactly how script work, and then you are drawing out the, the stack diagram as you program. If you tweak anything, you have to restart it pretty much again. So it's maybe a handful of people can program it. But with script, yes, as long as you know the algorithm, you can pretty much, anybody can program it. So once you have the primitive, you can create all kinds of things. For example, you can create, games that has hidden state, right? Like a poker, or another one called Battleship, or you can even have a tornado cache type of so-called, mixers, or you could have, anonymous transfers. You could have blind transfers. So that's just one of the primitives. Another primitive I would say is a lot of people, they want to make the self-custodial Bitcoin more secure, right? For example, you can have vault. All this, you can basically, the biggest unlock, I would say, for now, these days, if you want to have any kind of advanced, functionality in Bitcoin, you pretty much, I hate to say it, you have to go to talk to the core developers. You have to lobby microseller or whatnot. Imagine this is what happens in Ethereum. You could never explode, right?
Yeah.
You have to, any functionality you want to add, new one, you have to go to talk to Vitalik or Ethereum Foundation. That's never going to happen. So I think the biggest unlock is you just give them freedom they want and make it easier. The developer, they are going to come up with all kinds of ideas.